Hey guys, how's it going? It's your boy Mr. Almighty Lewis back at you with another video. Oh yes, and today's video is a very awaited video. I've been talking and teasing this video for a while now. If you've seen some of my previous videos here on my channel, and today's video obviously is going to be about the difference between just an introvert, somebody who's an introvert, and somebody who's actually a trained introvert. So if you want to know what the difference is between those two and why you want to be a trained introvert as opposed to just simply an introvert, then make sure you watch this video till the end, because you're going to take a lot of valuable information that's going to help you on. Like, this is your starting point. This is your foundation. This is the first thing you must know. And this is probably the first video I should have made, when I started this channel. But, when I started the channel, I sort of just started it and I was like, let's just get it going and we'll adjust as we go. And finally, I've realized that, all these videos have really led to this one particular video. So make sure you pay attention. So before we get started though, let's go ahead and make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, because my YouTube channel is really cool and awesome. And, especially if you're an introvert, you're going to learn so much from my channel. So make sure that you subscribe, make sure you hit that like button, and make sure you comment if there's a specific topic that you want me to cover in this channel. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. So the difference between an introvert and a trained introvert. So as you may know, I am an introvert. However, I am a trained introvert. So what is the difference? So let's just take an introvert for example. So an introvert, you've probably heard the characteristics of an introvert. So pretty much an introvert is pretty much a quiet person. A person that's pretty much kept to themselves, right? But they're not shy. In some instances, sure, they may be shy. But for the most part, that doesn't really define a introvert. And if you want to learn more about that, I made a channel where I spoke about like destroying the myth of making that connection between shy people and introverts, because it's not exactly the case. And so yeah, so for the most part, introverts are quiet, but not because they're shy or they're afraid to speak up, but because they naturally enjoy that. We as introverts, we enjoy just pure silence. We enjoy working by ourselves. We enjoy working with no interruptions, and we enjoy very low stimulating activities such as reading books, listening to music. But when we listen to music, I mean like playing it in our ears, with earphones, as opposed to extroverts who like to bump their music on speakers on their cars and concerts and whatnot, right? We like just nice, cool music, right? So there's that. We like to, like I said, we like to read books, we like to write, maybe we like to play an instrument, and all of this is like in solitude. We might just, lock ourselves in a room, or maybe if you have like an office, you might just be in your office the whole time, or something along those lines, right? The point is, introverts are very kept to themselves, and because of that, they're pretty much not as valued as much, because they don't really do the things that most extroverts do, which is the charismatic things where they're always speaking their mind, they're always talking to people, they're always making these connections with people, and so on and so forth, right? So introverts for the most part just kind of get put aside, which I think is very unfair, because introverts have lots of good qualities, such as being able to be very trustworthy. Introverts are way better at keeping secrets than extroverts are, because introverts know the value of actually keeping a secret and having somebody actually be vulnerable to them enough to share a secret with them. So as introverts, we value vulnerability so much so that if the other person doesn't show any vulnerability, we won't really take this person seriously. We'll think that something's up with this person, and this person's actually trying to manipulate us or trying to do something along those lines, where they're trying to they have a hidden agenda towards us. And so we'll be pretty aware of that, because as well as you may know, introverts also have a very strong intuition, and also we're very good at listening. Listening is like one of our key elements. It's one of the things that pretty much stands out from introverts, because like I said, introverts don't talk as much, but they do listen very well. And also when it comes to talking, introverts are more systematic when it comes to their talking. So as introverts, you can expect us to, choose our words more carefully, as opposed to extroverts who just sort of speak and share everything that they know. And it's very like random, as opposed to an introvert, they know how to play their roles, so if they're at work, they use a specific set of words. If they're talking to their family, they use another specific set of words. If they're talking with somebody, they're going to potentially do business with, they'll talk in a certain way. Like in this instance, I'm making a video, so I'm using a specific set of language and a specific energy here to make this video as cool as possible. And so, we're very calibrated as far as like the way that we speak. And so that definitely is a huge influence when it comes to just being an introvert. So there's that, right? And these are just some of the qualities that introverts have. However, that's an introvert. However, what is a trained introvert? So pretty much a trained introvert is what I teach you here. But in this channel, that's pretty much what I'm teaching you to do. I'm teaching you how to become a trained introvert. And what I mean is I teach you how to become aware of all these things. So everything pretty much that I shared, you have that in you. If you're an introvert, you have all of those qualities in you. However, because who knows, maybe you weren't aware of the fact that you were an introvert or whatnot. Maybe up to this point you've been living your life just sort of scrambling. I remember when I was in this stage where you're pretty much confused, right? You think you're an extrovert, you think you're an introvert, you're going back and forth. People criticize you because you don't talk much. They say, why are you so quiet, or something along those lines, right? And you get confused, you get a little disappointed. Maybe you want something, but then you can't really talk, and so you feel miserable about that because you're like, oh my god, like I really want to ask for that one thing, but I'm just incapable of really going up to that person and asking for it. Maybe you as a guy, you want to talk to a girl, but the words just don't come out. You start to scramble because as introverts we tend to think about tons of scenarios before we even actually open our mouths. So, and the speed at which we do that is insane. It's crazy. But because you have so much thinking going on, in the end, you pretty much don't end up, approaching, and then, the girl's gone. And so that's quite unfortunate. I know that feeling. And so yeah. So the thing is that when you become a trained introvert, you actually learn to embrace your introversion. So as opposed to just fighting it and being, dabbling between the two, extrovert, introvert, you actually become a solid introvert. So you choose to embrace the introversion, and then you start to train those qualities that I spoke about earlier that will make you a great introvert. So things like learning how to listen well, learning how to calibrate your communication, learning how to become more trustworthy, how to become more focused, how to choose the low stimulation activities as opposed to the ones that are very high stimulating. That's going to make a difference as far as like your energy goes, and so things like that, right? So in this channel, that's pretty much what I'm teaching you. I'm training you to become a trained introvert, meaning that not only are you going to be an introvert, but you're going to be someone who's aware and very confident in themselves to be an introvert, because introversion isn't necessarily something that's very praised in this world. Not a lot of people be like, oh, you're an introvert, fucking cool, right? It's always the extroverts who are getting all the attention because they're the ones who are charismatic. They're the ones who are able to connect with people, make people laugh. Usually the extroverts are the ones who become like actors, comedians, very high-end musicians. They become like great public speakers and motivators, and you see them all over the place. And those people are great, don't get me wrong. Like, it's not like we're making a little bit of a battle here between introverts and extroverts, even though once in a while we do collide because just our personalities are quite different. So that's pretty natural. Eventually we're just gonna collide. But the thing is that you as an introvert, that may not be your destiny, to go and become a public speaker or to go do something that's crazy and obnoxious, right? But you can certainly become something like, now, don't get me wrong too. I mean, you could become something like that. It's not that I'm saying that you're not, but in order to get there, you have to embrace the fact that you're an introvert first. You have to accept that, because you see, maybe at this point you're sort of fighting it. You're like, you wish you could just become a natural public speaker, but that's just not going to happen, because if you're an introvert, you cannot become a natural public speaker. Sure, you can become just as good as the people who are doing public speaking right now, the extroverts. You can become just as good as they are, and you can pretty much even come off as a natural to other people, but you will never become natural. You will actually have to go through a series of steps where you'll have to train yourself intentionally and practice day in and day out to become that good to the degree where people just see you as a natural. You see, I'm making these videos right now, and as an introvert, and perhaps as an introvert, you probably are not very good in front of the camera. You might even be a little bit shy to put yourself out there, and guess what? that's perfectly normal. I myself trained myself to make videos like these. I've spent years, making videos in front of the camera and talking to the camera, and to such a degree that actually all my videos are not even scripted. Like literally, I'm just giving you guys the content right here raw, the way it's coming out of my mind right now. I pretty much just select the topic that I'm going to talk about, and then I just share with you guys, and that's pretty much how all these videos happen. And that didn't come by coincidence. That didn't come by luck. That wasn't natural. That was something I put in the time, effort, energy. I went through struggle, I went through failure, I went through lots of things, and I still currently am, because my subscriber count is like very low, but I'm still here. I'm putting in the time to make these videos because I know the value of these videos, and I know that eventually, they're going to reach a very broad audience, and I cannot wait until so many people are able to listen to my videos, and especially introverts, because introverts are going to get the necessary training that they need in order to become the best introverts that they can possible. And that's so important, because introverts are extremely valuable to the world. If you don't believe me, just look up some of the most successful people here on in the world. Go on Google and look them up. You got people like Bill Gates, you got people like Mark Zuckerberg. If you don't know who those people are, Bill Gates funded Microsoft, and Mark Zuckerberg funded Facebook, and two of those, which are very, very big companies to this day. You have people like Elon Musk, who is the CEO of SpaceX, and Tesla, which are two very, very, very extremely successful companies. He's also an introvert, and so on and so forth. The list can go on, but you get my point here. Introverts are very, very, very special, and you as an introvert, you have to realize that you have a lot of great qualities, and because of that, I don't want those qualities to just die off because of the people around you are telling you that you should become an extrovert. No, you should not become an extrovert. You should embrace your introversion and then go and do whatever the hell you want. Once you're trained, once you're aware of the qualities that you have, you can actually use those qualities and manipulate those qualities to your advantage. But you can't do that if you don't know what you're dealing with, if you don't know what you're capable of. So pretty much, I'm in this channel, I plan to reveal what your strengths are. Now, sure, as an introvert, like I said, you're going to have all these qualities, but there's some that are going to be stronger than others, and there's some that you're just going to be naturally more drawn into, and that's pretty much where you want to go. But in order to do that, you have to become aware of them, and then you have to go out there and actually implement, because this is necessary too. You have to start implementing your introversion. You have to practice and proactively put your introversion out there and let everybody know that this is who you are, this is who you stand, and then pretty much, that's how it works. And so, yeah. So pretty much, this is pretty much the video, right? This is the video that pretty much you're going to understand why my YouTube channel exists and why you must become a trained introvert if you are an introvert, because that will give you control of all your qualities and everything that you carry inside to go and do with your introversion as you please. You can use your introversion to go and start a business. You can use it to, start a therapy company. You can become a therapist. You can become a psychologist. You can become anything around. You can become a script writer. You can write scripts for people who are going to go and act. You can be the behind the scenes person to all these other extroverts that are out there. Maybe the public speakers, they may be good at public speaking, but maybe they're not just as good as writing the content for that speech. So you may be the person who writes the entire content for that speech, and then the public speaker goes out there and pretty much delivers that speech, and that's a very powerful combo there. And so that's pretty much what you have to do. But you have to learn, you have to know that you're an introvert first. That way you're able to select and maneuver and position yourself in the right direction, in the right place, so that you're able to guarantee yourself a happy and successful life. So that's it pretty much for this video. Those are the reasons why you must become a trained introvert, as opposed to just simply an introvert who pretty much has all this potential but is sort of unaware of it. By becoming trained, you'll know exactly what you possess, and you'll be able to use all that knowledge to your advantage and do whatever it is that you want to do out in the world. So that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit the like button, and make sure you comment down below if you have any comments as far as this video goes. But anyway, thank you so much. I'll see you guys.